Welcome back. Today, we're going to learn how to upload files using a REST API. Whether you're dealing with images, documents, or other files, we'll break it down step by step so you can easily handle file uploads in your applications. When you're uploading documents like images, PDFs, Excel files, or any other type of file, and you need to store them in a database, cloud storage like S3, or another storage solution, it can sometimes get tricky. But don't worry, today we'll make this simple. In this tutorial, we'll go through the steps of uploading a file using a REST API, and then writing that file to your local machine. We'll cover this step by step, so by the end, you'll know exactly how to handle file uploads effectively. Let's start by creating a new class called File Upload Controller. This class will handle the incoming requests related to file uploads. First, let's annotate this class with @REST_controller, which tells Spring that this is a controller that will handle HTTP requests and return responses directly to the client. Now, let's create a post mapping for the file upload. We'll use @post mapping to create our endpoint. And we'll set the path to file/upload. Set the produces attribute of the @post mapping annotation to text/plain. This tells Spring that we're returning plain text as a response, which will simply be a success message indicating that the file has been uploaded. Now, let's move on to another important part, the consumes property. Since this API is specifically designed to accept files, we need to specify the consume type as multipart/form data. This tells Spring that the request body will contain a file that is being uploaded, not just plain text or JSON. Set the consumes property to media type.multipart_form_data_value. Alright, we've defined the method to handle the file upload, but how do we actually capture the file being uploaded? To do that, Spring provides us with the Multipart file class. This class is specifically designed to handle file data in HTTP requests. Now, to retrieve the file, we need to use the @request_param annotation. This annotation allows us to extract the uploaded file from the request body. You can use any name you like as the key, but for clarity, let's keep it simple and use file. As you can see, we're defining a multi-part file object named file and using @request_param file to bind the file data from the incoming request. The key file here matches the name of the input field from which the file is being uploaded. Now, Spring automatically handles the parsing of the multi-part request and places the file into the file object. The next step is processing this file, but before we get into that, let's take a moment to understand why this is necessary. The multi-part file class is an abstraction for handling file uploads. It provides methods to get the file content, its name, and other metadata like size, etc. Now that we have the file, let's start processing it. The first thing we'll do is check if the file is empty. If it is, we'll simply return a bad request response. This ensures that no empty file gets uploaded. Let's dive into some methods available with the Multipart file class to help us work with the file. As you can see on the screen, Multipart file provides several useful methods to interact with the uploaded file. GetSize, this will return the size of the uploaded file in bytes. GetContentType, this gives the MIME type of the file. For example, it will return something like image/PNG or application/PDF. GetOriginalFileName, this retrieves the original name of the uploaded file, which can be useful for logging or saving the file with its original name. GetBytes, this method returns the file content as a byte array. This is useful if you need to store the content in a database or pass it to another service. GetInputStream, if you need a stream to process the file, you can use this method to get an input stream. GetResource, this returns a resource object that can be used to access the file. The TransferTo method allows us to directly transfer the contents of the file to a specific location on the disk. Alright, now let's move on to saving the uploaded file to local storage. Alright, before we save the file, let's take a moment to extract and print some important details about the request. This will give us better insight into the uploaded file. Alright, now that we've printed some important details about the uploaded file, let's move on to saving the file to local storage. But before that, we need to decide on a directory where we'll save the file. For example, I'll save the file in a folder named Demo in our project directory. Let's create a file object representing the path. Now save the file using the transfer to method provided by Multipart file. Alright, so here's an important point to keep in mind. The transfer to method can throw a checked exception, specifically, IO exception or illegal state exception. To handle this, we'll wrap it in a try-catch block. If an exception occurs, we'll log the error and return an appropriate HTTP response. For example, in this case, we can return an internal _server _error status to let the client know something went wrong. If the file saves successfully, we're returning a 200 OK response with a success message. Let's restart the application. Switch to Postman. Alright, now let's create a new request in Postman. First, select the post method. Next, in the URL field, type localhost 8080/employee-service/file/upload. That's our API endpoint. Now, click on the Headers tab. Set the content type to multipart/form data. This is crucial because we're dealing with file uploads. After that, go to the Body tab and select Form Data. Here, add a new key named File. Postman will show you an option right next to the key, whether you want to send it as text or as a file. Select File from the drop-down. Then, click on the field to upload a file from your system. Pick any file, maybe an image, PDF, or even a text file. Once that's done, everything is set. Click the Send button, and let's see what happens. Alright, as you can see in the response, the file has been successfully uploaded. Alright, let's take a look at the logs. Here, you can see the original name of the file that we uploaded, along with its size in bytes. This is really useful for validating what file was sent and whether it was received properly. You'll also notice the content type. This tells us what kind of file it is, like an image, PDF, or any other format. These details are automatically provided by the multi-part file object, making it super convenient for handling file uploads in Spring Boot. Now, remember I had the file set to right into the demo folder. Let's go ahead and check if the file is there. Here it is. The file has been successfully saved with its original name. Alright, so far we've uploaded a single file. But what if you want to handle multiple files in a single request? As you can see on my screen, we have 2 image files this time. So, how do we handle this for multiple file uploads? Now, to handle multiple file uploads, we don't need to rewrite everything. It's very simple. We just take the existing code from our previous API and copy-paste it. Next, update the URL. Alright, let's switch things up a bit. Previously, we were passing a single file with a specific name using @requestParam. But what if you want to handle multiple files dynamically? Here's how we do it. Instead of directly specifying the file name in @requestParam, we'll use a map string multipart file. This map will let us capture all the files being uploaded along with their parameter names. Now we'll loop through each file in the map and process them one by one. For each file, we'll extract the key, that's the name of the parameter, and the file itself. Then, we'll reuse the same logic from our single file upload method to save the files to local storage. Alright, let's restart the application first. Switch over to Postman. Now, update the URL to match our new endpoint for multiple file uploads. Let's add another file to the request. Click the Send button. Great! We got a success response. Now, let's switch over to IntelliJ and check the logs to see the details we printed earlier. Here we can see the file names, sizes, and content types for all the uploaded files. Alright, now let's switch to the folder where we saved the uploaded files. Here it is. You can see all the uploaded files have been saved successfully with their original names. Everything is working as expected. To summarize, today we covered how to upload files using a REST API and save them to your local machine. We also learned how to handle single and multiple file uploads seamlessly. In the next video, we'll dive into how to download files using a REST API. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, and enable notifications so you won't miss out on our next video. See you soon.